There were rumors going around about some abandoned old silo that had loomed over the woods. The woods were located in the middle of a field of just dirt alongside the railroad tracks. Not like anyone cares. It's an eerie sight with just, sitting there looming over the woods with rust trailing down the sides. Anyways, some rumored it to be haunted by like some old farmer who hung himself in a silo and takes his revenge on anyone who enters. I say this rumor is complete bullshit, especially when the one spreading the rumor tries to back up the memory with stories of some stupid kids who were curious and went into the silo and never came back out. I just say that silo is just a good hangout spot where people would never find them. So with both positive and negative comments, my geek band of friends and I decided to check it out. We decided to enhance the creepiness by choosing to visit the silo on a gloomy and cloudy day. So the day came and my friends Niklas, Elias and Jonas met at my house since it was alongside the railway. We walked along the railway talking and laughing, having ourselves a good time, until we saw it. The silo was, of course, just sitting there looming tall over the trees. Curious, we walked toward it as our laughter, along with our talking, died down. The closer we got to it, the colder it felt, as if there was some sort of cold, dark aura radiating from it, sending shivers down our spines. Hell, Jonas even let down a small little yelp. We paced around in the circumference of the silo looking for an entrance of some sort. We ended up finding a ladder leading up into the silo. The rungs of the ladder were also handles to open the hatch along the side of the structure. All were locked except for one. Though it was stuck, so we had Niklas climbing over and opening the hatch, and within a few minutes we were inside the silo. Standing on the hay left in there, in the center there was a large deep in the hay. It was dark, but we could hear a steady flow of air coming through the bottom. Oddly enough, there was a rope descending into the hole. Since I was the only one smart enough to actually be prepared for this, I took out my flashlight. Holding the flashlight in my mouth, I began to descend. I dropped to the bottom, scanning the small area. Everything seemed safe, as I looked down at the scattered hay, dirt, and also another peculiar hatch. I beckoned for the others to come down. As they descended, my eye had caught something covering the rope. The color of it was red. I hid my panic and showed the others the hatch I found. Niklas opened it, revealing a dark hole. Now the fucked up thing about it reeked of death. The others had sensed it too, and of course Jonas had whimpered like a little bitch. Elias ended up gaining the courage to take my flashlight and go first into the hole. We followed him and we walked through this dark tunnel for about 10 to 15 minutes until Elias had told us we reached another hatch and he opened it. A bright light had filled the tunnel and that's when we heard it. A piercing shriek, followed by the sounds of something running, panting hard. In a desperate attempt to avoid the creature that had made a horrific shriek, we ran. Once we were out of the tunnel, we slammed the hatch shut, attempting to lock it. The sound had stopped, and a breathing of a sigh of relief all of us had observed our current surrounding. We were in a concrete block which appeared to be an old septic tank, but with an opening at the top, and through that opening we could see the forest above. We began to climb out, and then it happened. Again, we heard that damn sound again. Jonas wasn't even out of the hole yet. Poor Jonas. This creature slammed through the hatch, and a sharp, clawed hand reached out and grasped Jonas' leg tight, pulling it into the tunnel. We heard his terrified screams, and then suddenly it stopped. We heard the sharp snapping of bones and the tearing of flesh. The rest of us were frozen in shock. The sound of Jonas being killed was revolting. Elias ended up vomiting at the sound. After that, we tried to find a way out of the thicket. We searched for a way out for at least an hour, but we concluded that the forest was enclosed in a large perimeter of the barbed wire fencing. We panicked, having no idea what we should do, and also realizing that the thing comes out in the dark. Night was coming fast, and in a desperate panic, Elias climbed high into a tree, hoping the thing wouldn't find him. Niklas found a small hole in the ground to hide in. Bad idea. Again we heard the shriek, and I watched the thing climb out of its home. In my panic, I quickly climbed up a tree and watched Niklas sitting in the hole. I also, to my regret, had got a better look of the creature we were facing. It was the most grotesque thing I ever seen. Its face was mask-like, pale white against its dark skin. The face seemed to only have two dark holes for eyes, and a large smile stretching across the face. After a few moments of observation, I had soon noticed that it was a mask. A mask made of Jonas' skinned face. I was scared shitless as the thing was crawling toward Niklas. I sat in a tree as I watched Niklas run in fear, but that was no use since the thing caught up to him instantly. It shoved both hands through Niklas' chest and tore him apart with ease. Oh God. The skin face of Jonas had disintegrated and quickly replaced with a mask made from Niklas with the same hollow eyes and that screwed up fucking smile. Then it spoke in a soft, raspy voice. I am the Pocket. It proceeded to crawl back into its dwelling. From the other tree, I heard Elias crying. I beckoned for him to climb down as I climbed down myself, and told him we're getting the hell out of this place alive. Hesitantly, he climbed down, and I went up to the barbed wire fence, and I gripped the sharp wires, burned wide enough for someone to climb through. My hands bled, but I ignored the pain as Elias climbed through the opening. Again, the Pocket had shrieked, and in my panic I hastily crawled through the opening and cut myself bad. Bleeding, I ran with Elias and I ignored the pain, running until we had reached civilization once again. "10 years has passed. Elias and I were happily married. I say were for a reason. The same reason why I'm telling you this story today. Elias is dead. He died. He died a horrible death. So horrible. The police were called to the scene after a couple going for a walk through the woods found a mutilated headless corpse laying at the edge of the woods. When I say the word edge, that means that it's far from the barbed wire fence. This can only mean that the pocket is free from its prison. It's free and it's coming straight for me. I know it is. This is horrible. Right now. I'm looking at a marriage picture, trying to calm myself down with the happy memories. It didn't help. Because in the reflection of the glass, I saw a face slowly coming toward me. Elias' face, only it was eyeless and had a damn terrifying smile. The pocket, it's here. He's come to take me. I feel his hand piercing through my chest. At this moment, I realized its primordial. It killed to be free. To free the people from hell that now exists in this world. And I earned the privilege to be freed.